and the accountant actually had all the right information. So I don't know if he received the right information or just knew what to do. Have you talked to Steve's accountant in the past? He seemed pretty on the ball, but he wasn't.
I've spoken to him at some time in the past, not recently.
Okay, yeah, but he didn't seem like an investment guy. So I was kind of surprised he understood, because I was expecting to spend more time with him. But anyways, so I think. But yeah, that's a good thing.
Bottom line is we need to tell them that the past distributions for both the preferreds and the common have been completely tax-free return of capital, and that the majority of the distribution for this year is tax-free return of capital. That a portion of it, which we'll tell them the amount, is a deferred capital, is depreciation recover or something like that, you know, and so that, you know, part of the reason for investing in Ashford was for income as a somewhat, you know, similar to a bond equivalent, because we didn't want to go long on these very low interest rate bonds that are, you know, the safe. It's like we need to come back to the whole thing of the 30-year Treasury at 3 whatever, you know, 3.5 or whatever it is, taxable. That's actually risky. And actually recently Warren Buffett, just like last week, mentioned that, saying that, you know, actually these long safe bonds, he said, are risky. You don't want to put your money in bonds now. He was saying if you're retired, you don't want to put your money in bonds. You know?
Well, no, part of what he said was that the mistake people are making is having the fixed allocations to bonds or increasing as they get older. And now, at the end of a 35-year bull market, that's incredibly risky to be increasing your bond exposure, right? So I think he was saying it in a more simplistic way, but that's what he was getting across. The fixed thing is risky, right? Where they're being told that people, I think these people don't even know, Mark, that their bond fund can go down 20%, 30%, 40%. They don't think that's a possibility. And I don't know what they're going to do, what's going to happen if interest, like you say, interest rates spike. You can see that.
That's what I'm getting at. So, anyway, that's what I'm getting at. So, I'll look at what Buffett said recently again. I'm pretty sure that he was saying that the return on investment, that it's actually a tough investment. But in any case, what I've been saying is that investing your money long term at, you know, less than 5% taxable is for the birds. You know, and over any long period of time, you have inflation risk, interest rate risk, and you know, nobody can see 30 years out. And you know, if interest rates stay that low, then you're going to have expansion in multiples like we've seen, and you're going to have decreases in cap rates on property. You know, so if you're going to keep that, what you're buying at 3%, 4%. Eventually, if the rates stay that way, then they're just going to trickle down to property if the economy is functioning. So we purchased Ashford as an alternative to holding more bonds. And, you know, mostly the Ashford prefers, but also the Ashford common, because of their structure and that they're resistant to inflation, that it pays out a very heavy distribution, and that it has some tax advantages to it. To boot. So, you know, the last so many years, that dividend that they've got has been return of capital. So basically, it's like you got to look at it if we put this money in a 3% or 3.5% bond, taxable, you know, we would net like, you know, 2.25% from that, and that we'd have the chance of, as I'm sure you can go into more easily than me, that the value of the bond goes down substantially. You know, if interest rates go up to 5% or more, you know, you're going to have a huge crash in the bond market. And so, you know, they are definitely not safe. So we have to take some risks somewhere, and we chose to have property and, you know, luxury real estate, high-end luxury hotels, and that are priced daily. And, you know, so we get this, you know, what has recently been as high as an over 8% tax advantage distribution. That amount comes off our basis, you know, that it's return of basis. So it's basically they give our money back to us, tax-free. And so the value should be going down over time. It actually should be exponentially or hyperbolic kind of type thing, or what do you call it, you know, going down, because as you return more money, then you have more leverage to return that same amount of money, you know, you're going from a lower base. And so comparing it against a bond,